What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP, the current coin market cap. An article on Bitcoin futures institutional long positions value doubled in October, as well as discussing the very interesting trends that are happening within cryptocurrency right now. As you guys can see, Bitcoin making some very interesting plays, along with Litecoin that I'd like to go into specifics with, because I think this is quite useful and quite crazy in regards to where we could be seeing these cryptos move in the next couple of days. So some pretty crazy stuff happening right now. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. So guys, I just want to make an announcement really quick. Some crazy changes are going to be happening to this channel, and it's going to be some pretty awesome stuff, definitely benefiting you guys as the subscribers and viewers. So stay tuned for that in the next couple of days. When I get everything kind of aligned in the right order, I will be dropping the news. So stay tuned, guys. You won't want to miss it. Make sure to turn on that bell notification because trust me, it's going to be pretty awesome. Otherwise, to jump into the current technical analysis, I wanted to show you what exactly is going on within Bitcoin. So as we know, we're on the current Bitcoin charts. This is Bitcoin on the 4-hour, and you'll notice a couple interesting things are going on right now. So if you take a look at the RSI, you'll see we are double topping right now. You'll notice we were recently trying to retest near oversold. Now we just bounced off the oversold line. What's interesting to notice is that oversold line does actually happen to be resistance up here, and I wanted to show you the potentials and possibilities for some big volume coming to this market and what exactly I mean by that. So, but first off, paying attention to the 4-hour, very zoomed in, you'll notice we look like the blue band on the MACD is crossing over the orange very soon, which is an indicator of resistance and slight pullback. And seeing this, we may actually have a support around $8,000 now, which is still a good thing. And we'll zoom out in a second on the other cryptocurrencies or on the daily and then the weekly charts. But what I want to make the main focal point is notice how we're hitting a resistance of around $8,300, which is still a massive move up from where we were at $7,900. That's about a $400 increase on every Bitcoin that you own, which is huge. And notice we were expecting to see resistance here. That is exactly what happened. But for the most part, we're merely trading sideways. Now, if you notice on previous moves within Bitcoin, we've seen these little dips in between bigger, breakouts. This may definitely be one of those things where we see some sideways consolidation like this downwards before breakout. Just a smaller fractal is definitely a possibility. This inevitably should lower us on the RSI before deciding to break to the upside once again, because I am anticipating something along the lines of this happening right here. We may see, this consolidation and then a break to the upside and then a big candle wick down. You can see how this is very similar. This is right here. We have the break to the upside. We have the consolidation, and we have another massive spike to the upside, followed by retracement to lower levels. So that's the pretty big pattern that we're looking at right now. But what I wanted to show you is on Litecoin's daily right now, where this coin is pretty much getting involved in. So we're pretty much wrapping up the end of the technical analysis, the big fractal that's forming on Litecoin's chart. And I wanted to show you what exactly that could mean for the future of Litecoin. So notice where we're hitting a resistance. This is the start all the way back in June of 2019, June 22nd. Notice how this downtrend has been on the coin for quite some time, where we've had resistance at the end of June, resistance in the middle of June. We had a small wick all the way up in August. We had a resistance back in September, and now we're seeing that retest right now. So the interesting thing that I wanted to discuss is the possibilities that this hits here and then we see a break to the downside, whether that's all the way down here, whether that is a small move down to here, is a possibility before seeing some sort of retracement to the upside. Notice how we look great on the RSI, but trading at around 42 gives us plenty of room to the upside. My worry is with the MACD, seeing that the blue band is coming very close to that orange indicator, which is a signal for a reversal, does give me reason to believe that this could see a small dip to the downside before seeing uptrend, because for the most part the coin is extremely undervalued. We've been trending below our high-low MMA for quite some time now, and it does give me reason to believe that we should see an upswing fairly soon. We may see that short-term resistance, which we're seeing right now within Bitcoin as well. I mean, Bitcoin does look fairly okay, seeing that we are seeing a small pullback like we're doing right now. From 71 all the way down to 57 was a pretty big drop. We may fall a little bit lower, getting entangled with that high-low minimum moving average on the 4-hour. When you look on the daily, we're starting to see another interesting pattern. Notice, like I said, we're in a major symmetrical triangle or big descending triangle. Eventually, this comes to an end come the end of the year, around December or November. Now, what's pretty interesting to my standards is the fact that we are so undervalued in regards to the daily. Notice how we're seeing that separation on the MACD, trading at 43 on the RSI, gives us plenty of room to head up, just like this. So even in this potentially bear market that we're seeing on the 4-hour, which is a small retracement to the downside like we're seeing, the small consolidation, this could be lining us up for possibilities to move even bigger. So like I was saying, where we had this movement right here, where we shot up, went down in the downtrend in this fractal, shot up, small fractal, shot up even higher, then hit another downtrend like this, we could be seeing that same small fractal shooting up even higher, and then seeing another downtrend. That's what we're looking at. Notice how this plays the same pattern on the daily right now in regards to where the candles live. So you can see right now we have a downtrend. Let me get off this. Okay, we have the downtrend. We are hitting resistance right here. But notice there's plenty of room on the RSI and the MACD that indicates a higher pull. So if we end up seeing a little more consolidation on the 4-hour right here, we could be lining up for another move to higher levels, retesting not only this massive downtrend, but the high-low MMA right here, the high-low middle moving averages, and then seeing a fractal to lower levels. So this is a small pop that could bring us up from $8,300 all the way to $9,100 very quickly, noticing how quick these pops happen. So that's the main thing I wanted to discuss with you guys, is the possibilities that we could see a big leap within this coin very soon up to the high-low MMA. Now, I do want to discuss with you the current coin market cap as well as Bitcoin futures. You can see how on Bitcoin right now, top 10, we're seeing a mix. We're seeing that consolidation that we saw within Bitcoin on its 4-hour, where you can see that we're hitting a small resistance within its 4-hour charts, which is very small, very small. We can easily go up higher. We may see a small retracement down to 8,000, a small movement like this, or that was really bad, a small movement like this right here. So this could easily bring us down like this before seeing that pop that we're looking for. So expect to see very short-term consolidation just to lower us on the RSI, maybe down to around 48 or 50 on the RSI before seeing that big move on the daily to the upside. So to go into the current coin market cap, that makes sense why we're seeing this consolidation. We're really not seeing any major downfalls or swings to the upside. Now, to discuss with you the Cointelegraph article in regards to Bitcoin futures, institutional long positions value doubled in October, which is pretty interesting. So they're basically saying one class of investors has more than doubled the value of the long positions it holds on Bitcoin futures contracts this month. From an analyst skew markets, the value of institutional investors went from 500 or 4.1 billion to 1,000 or over 1,000 Bitcoins, which is 8.23 million. The gains reverse a decline of institutional longs for September. The launch of futures from Bakkt coincided with the open interest falling from the 1,300 Bitcoin. So Bitcoin futures were thought to have taken a longer-term break from being top of the agenda for institutional investors. Despite assumption on sentiment, industry players have more recently begun to dispel the myth of interest in waning. We see institutional investors invest with us all the time, and that's been the case for a long time now. The firm's director of sales. Nonetheless, other sources have quizzed the impact of institutions on Bitcoin. This week, CoinShares Chief Strategy Officers Meltem Demouriers suggested custody practices in particular pose questions. So basically, I guess we were all kind of figuring out that these investors were trying to, it was kind of dying down in regards to how much they had interest back inside of these, Bitcoin futures. And it seems like they were proven wrong, that they actually are very interested in crypto and Bitcoin backed futures, and they're investing even more than we thought they were, which is having a pretty, or it could have a pretty big effect on where we see the possible prices of cryptocurrency move as we end 2019 and move into 2020. So otherwise, wrapping up with Ethereum seeing resistance off of its high-low MMA and pulling lower, and the XRP getting caught and intertangled in its middle moving average, which looks quite nice. I want to see what XRP looks like on its weekly, if that wants to load. There we go. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest with you, hitting a small resistance where we're at right now, but the daily looks great. The daily looks really good. Even the weekly, seeing that MACD crossover. So this may be a bull market for my XRP hodlers very soon. We may see a weekly long-term bull rally that could easily bring us up to 47 cents in the long-term things, a couple of months. So that's some pretty great news in terms of XRP, but otherwise I really wanted to stress the possibilities of higher movements within Bitcoin. You know, short-term higher movements, if that makes sense. If I just zoom out and show you guys what the daily looks like on Bitcoin, like I said, you'll notice that the pattern that we're seeing right here. So whether or not this is here, whether we got rid of this or added it up, that is what we're expecting to see. Otherwise, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.